Goats on the roof. What's up, guys? It's actually not that random. It's not that weird. Goats on the roof. Which this week is week number 4, which is pattern interrupts, hence the goats. I just kind of want to touch on like whether you're actually living your life, if you're in control of your life, or if something else, an external force or something external is actually controlling your life and you're not actually living to your full potential. Because let's be honest, that's 95% of the population. So today I just kind of want to like ask that question, like, are you in control of your life, or are you just living based on something external that's controlling you, whether that be society, whether that be your parents and your friends, your conditioning from society. Like, you're growing up and you're conditioned to just go to school, get a job, and do the grind. Is that how you're living life, conditioned that way with that external mindset controlling you? Or are you truly living the life you want and living on your own terms and fully in control of everything in your life? Or is something else dictating your life and how it's running? Whether that be your job, which is like 95% of the population, their job controls them, which it doesn't have to be that way. I've talked about this before. I've touched on this before. Like, people just, I don't know what it is. People just accept what is, but they don't actually take action to change the things in their life that they're unhappy about, right? I mean, just look at the statistics. 95% of the population is unhappy in the job they're in. Why? Go to school, go get good grades, then get a job, and then work for 35 years, live for the weekends, live for retirement. Is that right? Some would argue that. Some think that's normal, and some think that that's okay, and some think that that's the life they want to live. And if that's what you want, great. But the statistics show that 95% of people are unhappy. So where did it go wrong? I think everyone should just ask this question. Like, are you truly living on your own terms? Are you in a job you like to do? Are you like the pillars of life that I've talked about before, right? Are your pillars of life even? They don't all have to be 10 out of 10s. You don't have to be 10 out of 10 in your business, your finances, your love life, your family, your friends and relationships, and your health, and your contribution back to society and everything, your community, or whatever cause you want to contribute to. All of those pillars of life are important, and if you're not balanced on those pillars of life, you're going to be off. Your true wheel of success and your wheel of true fulfillment in life is not going to be balanced, and it's not going to turn evenly, right? Your pillars don't have to be all 10 out of 10s, but they have to be even. They have to be somewhat round for that wheel to spin properly. Otherwise, it's like a square tire on a car. It's not going to run properly, right? 95% of the people are unhappy. Why? Well, because they either don't see any other way because of their conditioning, because of growing up and what society teaches us, right? And that's not necessarily any fault of their own, because that's just how they've grown up, and that's just the conditioning of their parents and their parents' parents, and what society presses upon us, the life that we're supposed to live, right? But 95% of people are unhappy. So maybe that 95% of people should be asking this very question. Are you living life on your own terms? Are you in full control of your life, or is something else, an external force or an external something external, is something else controlling your life? And if that's the answer, then you need to look at your life and you need to change what it is that's controlling you in a way that you don't want, whether that's you're living a lifestyle you don't want to live, or you're in a job you don't like to do, or you're just completely unhappy right? You need to ask that question. You need to realize that maybe there's things you need to change, and if you don't change anything, if you don't even initiate the change, nothing's gonna change. And I was in this exact state, this exact conditioning, right? What society teaches. And I did the career thing. I did the school thing. I didn't go to university, but I have my points on why I didn't. You can watch in other lives, I've talked about that. But, I got through high school somehow. That wasn't for me. It didn't resonate with me at all. And, maybe that's where it started, where I really started to think differently. I don't know. But then I went and did the career thing. I went and did what society teaches. And I realized that, after 1 year, it took me 2 years after that, after I actually realized. It took me 2 years after that to realize that this isn't for me, this isn't right, there's something wrong here. And, but the difference with me was I took action and I made a change. And, I said, you know what? No one else is responsible. No one else is going to, no one else is responsible for my life, and nobody else is going to change the things that I'm unhappy about in life. It's up to me. 100% up to me. And, I just realized that. And the masses of people, they don't realize that. And they just keep going in the daily grind. They keep doing what they're unhappy about. And, it's not right. And it doesn't have to be that way. You just have to, people will argue this point, and they'll say, well, there's external forces controlling my life. There, external circumstances that have dictated why I'm here and why I'm unhappy and why I'm in the situation I'm in. And maybe there are circumstances. I mean, there is. Everyone's got their reasons for where they are in life. However, it's up to you to change that, right? Look at some of the most successful people. Look at some of the most successful people in this world, the people that have changed this world, right? Whether it's inventions or, like Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, any big names like that, or even just people that are successful quietly, right? And they haven't actually rose to recognition in the world, right? But people are just living fully fulfilled. They've been through hardships. All of the most successful people have been through some of the shittiest situations and some of the shittiest beginnings. So you can't argue the point and say, external forces have dictated why I'm unhappy and why I am where I am in my life, because it's ultimately up to you to change that. 100% up to you. And if you are unhappy, you should be asking that question. Am I living on my own terms? Am I living fully fulfilled? Am I living a life that I'm in control of? Or is there something else that's controlling my life and controlling my happiness? Is there something external that's controlling my fulfillment? You need to ask that question. And if that is yes, if the answer to that question is yes, then you need to change something. And you need to figure out what it is you need to change and take action on it. Because if you don't take action, nothing's going to change. And I was in that exact situation where the conditioning from society and everything, right? In a job. And I was unhappy. And the majority of people would not have just left like I did. They would have stuck with it. And I said no. I said I'm responsible. And it's up to me to change what I'm unhappy about. I just had a eureka moment. And I was like, it's up to me. And if I don't change anything, nothing's going to change. So I did. I took action and I changed. And now, I'm on a path towards changing and fulfilling the other pillars in life that I've mentioned, right? filling those other pillars and making them more even, so the wheel of true success and the wheel of true fulfillment in life can rotate properly and evenly without any bumps, right? Without any hardships, without any unhappiness like I've experienced before. And but it all comes back to this question, and it all comes back to ultimately taking action and making the change. And I just want to ask this to you guys, because I know that the statistics show 95% of the population is unhappy in their current situation. And they accept that, and they try and justify it by saying there's external forces and there's external circumstances on why I am where I am today. But then there's the 4 or 5% of the population that says, yeah, I went through some tough shit, but I got over it, right? I made changes, and I changed myself to become the person I want to become and live the lifestyle I want to live, right? And fulfill and even out all those other pillars in life. And they made the change, right? And everyone is capable of doing the same thing. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So, what's the difference? Well, people are either not aware, right? They're not aware because of their conditioning, or they're just lazy. And it's the lazy ones that continue to be unhappy and continue to be in the situation they're in. So if you just take action and initiate the change and make the change, and even if it's incremental steps, so be it. But as long as you're making a change and bettering yourself every day, then you're ultimately going to change, right, in the long term. And that's the path I'm on now, and I've realized this, and I feel fortunate to have realized this so young, because there's so many people, 95% of the population, that doesn't see it, or they just accept what is because of their conditioning. And it's up to you. That's a choice, because there's some of the most successful people in the world that came from some of the most terrible beginnings. You can just look up the story of any of your favorite actors. Look up the story of like Eminem, for example. Just look up life stories of any successful person, anyone that's famous or anyone that's in the public eye, right? And those are just the people in the public eye. Then there's the people on down low that don't actually get out there, but they have been through tough shit too, right? And it's just that 4 or 5% of the population that actually initiates the change, makes the change, and actually overcomes the hurdles and the hardships to ultimately become the person and live the lifestyle that they want to live, right? Because they realize it's 100% up to them, and it's their responsibility, and no one else is going to do it for them. So I guess I just want to, in this message, guys, I just want to direct that at those of you that are unhappy or are feeling like maybe society is it's not right? Like there's a plateau of security, right? It's a plateau of so-called security, if that's what you're looking for. But you just have to decide how high above that plateau of averageness you want to aim. And if you want to aim higher, you're going to have to be different. And you're going to have to do things that the masses of people won't want to do. And that's how you're ultimately going to, change your situation and be that 4 or 5% of the population, right? And be able to live on your own terms, fully fulfilled, with all pillars of your life balanced. And if you can be in that 4 or 5% of the population, man, people will just envy you, right? They'll be like, wow, you're special. And then you'll just tell them, like, no, I just made a choice. This is the person I want to be. This is the life I want to live. And it's up to me. And I realize it's my responsibility to take action. And you can do the same thing. All you got to do is make yourself aware, determine what it is in your life that you're unhappy about, and then initiate the change and work towards changing that. You know, it's a simple concept, but it's not easy. It's simple, but not easy. But if it was easy, everyone would do it. So just, you know, put in the work now. I've said this before over and over again. Short-term inconvenience, short-term sacrifice for long-term comfort. It's as simple as that, guys. So if you're, you know, in that situation where you're unhappy and you're questioning things, and maybe you realize, yeah, maybe society is wrong, maybe, but, you know, maybe I don't want to be on that plateau, I want to be higher than that plateau, then you just got to make that decision, take action. So that's my message for today, guys.